Thank you for joining us. This is a bit of an impromptu presentation, but an opportunity for us to talk about something near and dear to our hearts, which is this relationship we feel incredibly good about with NBC. I'll introduce the folks with me in a moment, but first I see Margot here. Margot Cook, and is Mona still here? She stepped out for a moment, but please stand and say hello. Margot is a senior communications person with NTT. It's pretty good. I think you just got the media to clap for you. That's fantastic. We're glad to have you here. So we're going to talk with our friends from NBC. I just wanted to introduce the topic. You know, we're from Indianapolis, and Indianapolis at NBC have an incredibly long history. Some of us were involved with Super Bowl 46 in 2012, which they did, and they did a superb job in. We've done countless Olympic trials and Sunday night footballs, and over time, there's always been a great relationship. And I think not later than the Olympics in Rio, we started really thinking about what a partnership together might look like, and now here we are. It's absolutely true that NBC is magical about making big events bigger. And when we think about the Indianapolis 500-mile race, we don't feel like there's any way we could be in better hands. And they're proving that every day. And we think about the whole of the series. We love the fact that it's one platform. And for the first time, we have a partner that can look from race to race to race and think with us strategically about the series, and a partner that cares a lot about its success. So, you know, that's talk. It sounds good. It's like sort of early dating sometimes. You make promises. But we made an agreement, and now it's been however few months since, and I can just tell you, I have never worked with a broadcast partner that is so engaged. Every part of their organization and every part of our organization is talking every day. And so it's a very focused priority for us, and we have no doubt that it will benefit the series and the 500 and all that we do, and we hope that it'll be a great success for NBC as well. With those comments, I want to introduce a friend. Jon has been somebody we've known for a very long time. Jon Miller is president of programming at NBC Sports, and really I think maybe the architect of this strategy, and maybe the motorsport strategy there, Jon Miller.
Well, thank you, Mark. But I appreciate that. There are a lot of people on our team. Mike Perman and Mark Iaccavelli are out here who really do the day-to-day lifting on the relationship with our folks at IndyCar. And as far as the strategy is concerned, having Sam and his team, who really are the leaders when it comes to television production, but especially the way we do motorsports, has made it very easy. Mark and I have known each other for close to 30 years, and so we've had a lot of opportunities to work with each other in different capacities. So when NBC had the cable portion of IndyCar, it was always, we felt like something was missing. And so when the opportunity came to bring the entire package under one roof, and we knew that we could bring all the assets and all the marketing and promotion efforts that Jenny Storms and her team get to do, we knew we had a real opportunity to make something special happen here. And nothing to take away from your prior partners who all did a good job, but we think that we are the best in class, and we aim to prove that, and we kind of live every day making sure that we do that. And whether it was, as someone said to me earlier, when they saw the promos that we ran in the divisional championship and the wild card NFL games back in January, they knew that something special was going to happen. And I think you will all see the way we approach it, the way we produce it, the way we market, program it, treat it, is the way we treat our most special properties, and we're thrilled to have you be part of the family.
Thanks, Jon. So to Jon's left is Sam Flood, executive producer and president of production at NBC and NBCSN, another person we've known for a very long time. I think Sam was part of this team that was kind of chomping at the bit to get this opportunity because he has an incredible passion for motorsports, and I think IndyCar, and a great vision for how to present our sport to viewers. Sam?
Well, thank you. We're very excited. We love doing IndyCar through all these years, but always felt something was missing. And to be able to produce the Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in motorsports, is an honor, and it's something, a responsibility we don't take lightly. We've been working on it since the day the deal was agreed to. We've been thinking about it for years before that. How would we do this event? How would we make a big event even bigger? And that's our goal, and that's our job, is to make sure this story is told, this great day, this celebration. It's much more than a race, it's an event, and our team has been working tirelessly, putting together a plan, figuring out the stories we're going to tell, figuring out how to make sure those at home have the best seat in the house. If you can't make it to the track that day, you're going to have an incredible experience on the television, and we're going to work hard to make sure that happens. But more importantly, to have this series for the whole year, and to have our team and our broadcast booth group and our pit road team, in addition, having the production group do it week after week, is going to create a continuity that's necessary and an ability to promote from race to race and build those storylines and build a relationship with the audience so they know there's one place to watch this incredible series that has great racing week after week, and we're going to see it here in a few hours.
Thanks, Sam. So we've got the strategic scheduling, programming view, and we've got how we put in front of viewers the most amazing possible experience. And then we have Jenny Storms, Chief Marketing Officer for NBC Sports Group. Jenny, as her title implies, is the person who sorts through, beyond just the folks who watch the show and continue to come back, how do we reach out? How do we convey what we're all about and attract more viewers? And we just could not be more excited about her work. And as part of her comments, I think we're going to tease you a little bit with some video to show some of the work so far, and you'll get a sense of how she's putting the ideas into practice in a more concerted way than you may have seen in the various promos. Jenny?
Thanks, Mark. I think, yes, as a marketer, if I didn't bring something for you to see, I'd lose my annual card and membership to the marketing group in this world. But I echo as well what you said earlier about just the partnership. And from the minute the deal happened, the excitement between our two organizations coming together, specifically on the marketing side, I don't think there is a week, not even maybe a day that goes by that we have not been in touch with the organization and sort of planning together. And so that signals an absolute partnership for us. And like Mark just said, the important thing for us is not only to reach the IndyCar fans, but to go beyond that. Let's get this sport introduced and consumed even outside of those people that have the passion and are part of the racing community. And so as Jon said, it was really important for us at the end of January in our wildcard and divisional games to go to those tens of millions of consumers and introduce this, not only as bringing IndyCar and the excitement of the sport, but also introducing to this new consumer that may not have experienced it. So from there in mid-February, knowing that you're all busy and you may not be able to consume everything that we do cross-platform, I'll give you a sense. We started true topical. So we were sort of in awareness building, you know, that one home of NBC. And then in February, we became more topical, really pushing to the launch of the season, but also pushing to the fact that there's really one seamless destination for you to be able to find IndyCar. And so it was NBC, NBCSN, NBC Sports Gold, NBCSports.com, us using the NBCSports.com platform absolutely as a navigation tool to make sure that you could find places, and more importantly, bringing the messaging to life through the drivers. The drivers have been very key for us, being able to sort of bring to life the messaging around speed, skill, bravery, versatility, driving on these different surfaces. That's been very crucial to our strategy and what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we really believe that people are connecting with people. And so we're also trying to bring sort of a humanity side as well. So you'll see that when we show you a little bit of content, but we've had great support from across the company. This just hasn't been a sports endeavor, but including in NASCAR America, we had Will Power came on there. We had Joseph Newcard in an NHL game last week. And we continue in our history with the property of having the drivers featured in nightly shows, in our news shows in the morning, such as Today, Tonight Show, et cetera. And so we look forward to that depth and breadth continuing throughout the season. But today I did bring a couple of pieces of content First two are in regard to just that brand awareness and building around the Indy 500 and the series. And then we go into a little bit more of the topical, and then we have a real fun one at the last that's social engagement only right now, which has gotten a lot of traction on bringing to life sort of the drivers and their personalities. So let's take a look.
Friday night, March 16th. I was in the UK running the Six Nations game.
So I forgot ABC was a lame duck that long. It's been a year. Next to her.
And then this last one should be the social piece.
So what are these for? Things are like fire. Wow, this is unique.
Wow, oh man.
Exactly.
So we can't see it.
My dog. I have to go buy a new tonic and house.
I'm going to be tasting anything for at least a month.
Good stuff. It's a brilliant idea. How many sour balls can you stick in your mouth? And then when you're tapped out, can you hold them for a minute? And Takuma really shocked all observers, I think. So listen, one more word, and then we're happy to take any questions. I wanted to ask Jon. Jon can explain the corporate background for this, but Jon has been very involved in helping us make the arrangement we made with Sky in the UK, and that's really going to be a great platform for us in that part of the world, and so I asked Jon just to make a comment about that.
Sure. So last year, Comcast, who's our parent, made a strategic acquisition and acquired Sky, which is the leading premium broadcaster in the UK, in Ireland, Italy, Germany. And we had been trying to find ways to help grow the IndyCar footprint, especially with a new sponsor like NTT. And we went to our new brothers over at Sky and posed the idea to them, and they were very receptive to it. But we also needed to get approval from the folks at F1, because motorsports in the UK on Sky are on the Sky F1 channel, and it's all been exclusively F1 content. And we had a relationship with the F1 folks as well, and we kind of went to them on behalf of IndyCar as well as Sky, and they agreed to do this. So we're very excited the fact that everything that we produce will now be seen on Sky in the UK, from qualifying practices to the actual racing, et cetera. So we think it really It's the best racing out there. No disrespect to any of the other motorsports properties that we're in business with or whatever, but we think it's great to be able to show the best motorsports product to that audience that's already a motorsports-centric group of people. So we think it just helps expand and grow the footprint of IndyCar and makes it even more relevant and important on the global sports stage. So we were happy to do it.
It was important to us. We've got, as you know, with Carlin, a British-owned team, British drivers. NTT is very much a global company, and so the depth of the reach in the UK is important, and we appreciated your help. We're happy to take any questions.
I have a wireless mic. There will also be a transcript available after the session. State your name and affiliation.
Bruce Martin with NBCSports.com. This is for Sam Flood. You've been the executive producer of some pretty major events, from Super Bowls to Wimbledons and Kentucky Derbies. From your career standpoint, to be able to be the executive producer of the Indianapolis 500, how important is that to you?
You always want to do the biggest events, and this is the big one. This is one that you circle and are excited about, and you want to put the NBC stamp on it. So we're excited with what we can do with a huge, huge spectacle. And there are races, and then there are events. This is an event. And what we were able to do with the Kentucky Derby, when we first had the Kentucky Derby, it was an hour-and-a-half window. We're now on the air for 6 hours on race Saturday. And that's what we think we can do here, just continue to build the energy, the excitement, and the passion for the sport. And with this team we have, I'm pretty confident we're going to have a big-time show come the 500 this year.
Hi, Mark Cipollone, Auto Racing One. Question, in terms of building fan base, IndyCar fan base, to build the ratings, has there been any thought about a midweek motorsports show where you would just do, a review of what happened the previous weekend and then preview the next race and all that good stuff for the fans?
We're already there. Watch NBCSN from 5 to 6 on Thursdays, and we touch all our key properties with IndyCar being a headliner. That's on NBCSN every Thursday, 5 to 6. It's the Motorsports Hour where we touch it and we get you review to what happened, look ahead to the next race. We've got 4 days a week of coverage in the motorsports world from 5 to 6. Mondays is NASCAR America, which primarily looks back at the NASCAR race, but once this season begins, we'll drop in IndyCar to the Monday show. Tuesday is Dale Earnhardt Jr., his Download, which is a 1-hour show. And then Wednesdays is Motor Mouths. If you want to get in an argument or a fight with Kyle Petty and anyone else on our team, you're welcome to do so, because that's an hour where we let people call in and have dialogue, and it can be about any form of motorsports. And then Thursday is specifically about IndyCar and IMSA, Supercross, MotoGP, everything we have, we touch in that window.
Sam, would you like to talk more about Indy 500 week or the month of May in particular? You talked about the season.
We're going to lead in with much more programming. The schedule will come out soon, but we are filling multiple windows, particularly the week leading up to it, with special shows from Indianapolis, special content, including a documentary movie that we're releasing in early May.
One of the great things about May, Kurt, is that that's a special month for NBC, and for NBC Sports, it's arguably, there's no month that's any bigger, because we start off with the Derby on the first Saturday in May. We have the championship in the Premier League on the second weekend in May. We have the Preakness on the third weekend in May. And then throughout the month of May, we have the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So we have all of these marquee, big live events that we get to use as a platform to drive everybody to Memorial Day weekend and the 500.
Before the next question, let me just add one other perspective, not on that question, but offering as many ways as possible to reach fans is important to us. And I want to comment on and really thank all the people who have made NBC Gold possible. It was launched this weekend. From everything I gather, the reviews have been fantastic. It's Herculean effort to get that off the ground on the date as promised, and great work. And also with NTT and the new app. frankly, if there are things you lose sleep over, it's delivering on a new technology platform for fans like Gold or the app. And your folks have been just fantastic, and we're very proud of the result.
Questions? Right here, down in front.
Graham Harris, motorsportweek.com. Getting back to the Sky deal, Sky, Formula One's major broadcaster, they have a number of properties. You handled Formula One superbly until you lost it recently. Now that you've got a common heritage, do you see the possibility of it coming back to NBC and working closely?
Well, they currently are engaged and have a deal with another broadcaster. And so when that deal is up, I'm sure we'll take a look at it. And if they're interested in having conversations, we will. But we are very happy with the inventory of premium motorsports properties that we have now, led by IndyCar that we have exclusively, led by Supercross that we have exclusively, led by the NASCAR package that we share with Fox. We also have IMSA exclusively. So we have a very strong lineup of premium motorsports properties. So at the right time, I'm sure we'll take a look at it, but we're very happy with where we are right now.
You do that really well, Kurt.
Thank you. I went to school for it.
You went to school. Obviously, since you came in charge, Mark, there's been a lot of there's been quite a significant date shift in the calendar, with it ending kind of like mid-September and that schedule. I wanted to ask the NBC folk whether that's whether you have been advising Mark as far as not wanting to have IndyCar clash with football and that kind of thing. Is the IndyCar schedule very much in line with what you guys wanted, NBC?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's never ideal. The NFL is a very tough competitor, and we see that in a lot of other properties. You see the PGA Tour has moved their playoffs into August. So we're very mindful of that and sensitive to that, but we also see the opportunity for IndyCar to finish on broadcast television as a real opportunity. In the past, when we would end on Labor Day weekend, for example, we never had the ability to showcase that on NBC. Now we will be able to showcase that on NBC, and we'll be able to use those weeks in September where we have a lot of other premium live programming once again to promote to it. So we're very much in lockstep. But that's the good part about Mark and the team with Steven and Jay, and we have the dialogue ongoing about what's best scheduling-wise.
Hi, my name is Alex Pombo. One question is, Telemundo, part of NBC Group and Comcast Group, is there any in the future to put Spanish into the broadcast?
Spanish language for it?
Yes, Spanish language for Telemundo.
So as you know, we own Telemundo, and they have a secondary network called NBC Universo. So we are in dialogue with them to put some of the races on NBC Universo this upcoming year.
Bruce Martin again. This may be for Jenny or John, but the ability to cross-promote with such entities as Today's Show, the NBC Nightly News, Jimmy Fallon, programs of that nature, how much should we see some of that type of programming during the week or even the weeks leading up to the Indianapolis 500?
I think the week, especially the 7 to 10 days leading up to the Indianapolis 500, you're going to see a lot of that. Looking across, we've already set sort of the table with the company across NBC Universal, 2 broadcast networks, 14 cable channels. Our business reaches 93% of Americans every single month. So we've sort of set the table, briefed the company in, and started that dialogue. I think what's great is working very close with Mark and his team. We're also trying to infuse some of the celebrities that maybe exist in our ecosystem that are outside of sports, whether they're music celebrities, actors, etc., sort of bring them into this event as well, because we know the event, as Sam was saying, it's beyond sports. This is culture. So I think in those 7 to 10 days, you're definitely going to see some combining big push. I think the other interesting thing about May is John kind of rattled off all of the things going on in sports. May is a big month for NBC with regard to series and programming and launches. So look for us to do cross promotions as well with series, and as they're either finaling or coming to life, etc., that we'll be doing that type of collaboration.
Okay, last chance here.
Do you feel like you have any influence over IndyCar and IMSA in terms of maybe getting more kind of weekends where they are on the same schedule? Because I mean, I think there's a lot of people who feel that IndyCar and IMSA fans are kind of like pretty much in lockstep, and they would love to have a super weekend, and several maybe. Do you think there's any chance of you guys influencing them to say, hey, we need more, double headers?
We've had that dialogue, and we will continue to have that dialogue. That's a very good idea, and it's something that Sam and the team have been working on a lot.
Yeah, Long Beach is a great weekend. So we see it, and Mark obviously looks at everything. He's made a lot of great decisions along the way, and will continue to push this sport forward in a great way.
Well, Jenny, Sam, John, and Mark, thank you for being available, and they'll be here for a few minutes if we have additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks. We didn't get the